No, no, that I know of. I know that it hasn't. Nothing from our office has been done in that way.
Okay.
Any further, anybody else with a question?
We
have one person over here.
Hey, so this is Matt again. I'm just wondering how we can actually apply equal pressure. I understand the concept of all of the RCWs, executive, blah, 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 all that crap that you're spewing. But I really want you to understand too that your job as a county prosecutor is not just to give advice to the county commissioners. So I really, like, as citizens, when we're saying we're dying over here, man, like literally businesses are dying.
Amen.
And not a single county prosecutor is fighting on behalf of the citizens that are dying. I don't care what the law is. It's your job as a county prosecutor to fight for the people. Right? That's why we elected you. That's why it's an elected position. Am I wrong?
No question, no question. I certainly understand that. I'm a public servant. I live this job every day and have for 6+ years. But I also have the ability. My job is, as all other elected officials under the statutes that govern our authority, and most specifically my authority, under RCW 3627. So under that particular authority, I don't have authority to challenge directly the governor of the state of Washington based upon the emergency powers that he has been given over the years and has been utilized in that authority for the last 7.5 decades. So I appreciate you define my authority and power as the elected prosecutor in this county in a certain way. You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect it, Matt.
Yeah.
I also want you to know that I'm entitled to the evaluation of my authority under the statute, trained as a lawyer, and working as a lawyer to determine what authority I have under the law. And if I determine that he has the authority, whether we like it or not, if he has the authority under the law, and the legislators that talked last week, they know that he has the authority to do this as well. They just want to now curtail it. But to say that he doesn't have the authority or that I have the authority to stop him is not accurate under my professional legal opinion.
Well, and I guess I'm more so not saying that you have the authority to do such, but you have the authority to stand up for us. That's the authority you have. You're an elected official by us, and you have none of you have actually stood up for us. You just said there's nothing you can do.
If I can say this, Joe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it hasn't been out in the public or anything like that, but I know Joe has been in constant contact with the other prosecutors and what's going on with them in their respective counties and how court cases are going and those kinds of things. So, action has to be based on what's going on in all those other jurisdictions too. So, I've jumped up and down and yelled and stuff before, but that's all I accomplished was jumping up and down and yelling. The best thing we can do as individual citizens is not only just write letters, but when legislature starts next week, is start calling those offices and in addition to the letters and expressing your concerns about what's going on.
Yeah, that's a big issue there, Jeff.
Economy, our businesses, our whole way of life here, they'll understand it, but the numbers, the voices that they hear and the letters that they read, as I said a few minutes ago,
RCW
really are
took away
more impactful
the
than really it sounds like.
What RCW says, the governor gets to suspend the Constitution.
Yeah.
And I was in
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What RCW gave him the right to suspend the Constitution?
Voices are heard and letters are read, and they are impactful to whoever you're contacting.
Could I ask one more question? What determines an emergency? Under law, what determines the emergency?
Well, I could go back and start researching for you, and we could spend the next hour talking about that. I would prefer not to do that. I'd like to go home eventually to my family. The reality is that an emergency is declared under the law based upon medical information in this particular circumstance to the respective health districts in the state of Washington and in every state in the United States.
Well, I just wonder because the national government has ended the emergency.
We could all agree that the emergency has been declared. If you disagree with the emergency, it's not only our state, our county, the United States, it's a global pandemic. So what is actually an emergency in general, and going over a statutory reference to what an emergency is, I would look up and I can get back to you. But in terms of what we're talking about tonight, an emergency has been declared, and we're all in agreement that it's an emergency.
I guess my point is just
powers flow from that particular declaration.
I guess my point is just that does it just go on forever?
I know we didn't get all the questions in or those kinds of things, but